What is going on, everybody? Nitro Freak here, back with another stream with this guy, Philly.500. You may know him, you may not know him, but if you don't, maybe you're under a rock. How you doing, Philly.500?
I am wonderful. I cannot complain. It's another day closer to Christmas, my time of the year, and I'm loving life. How about you?
I'm loving life. I mean, I took this day off 3 weeks ago. I was scheduled to do a stream with you and Darius, but unfortunately, Darius couldn't make the stream in the afternoon, and you have like a 12-hour shift or something. So
Yeah, I'm busy.
the schedules were all fucked up. But at least we're gonna do it. At least we're gonna do something.
Yeah.
So there's a big game coming up against the Washington Redskins. And the Redskins have been a thorn in our sides like maybe 4 years ago, but now the tides have turned a little bit. We've beaten them. Carson Wentz kind of owns them. And hopefully hopefully it stays the same. Hopefully the tide stays the same and Carson continues his dominance over the Washington Redskins. Now, with that being said, Carson Wentz on Monday Night Football, I was there. He looked abysmal the first 3 quarters. He stayed in the pocket. He looked terrible. I think he had one of the worst pocket passing ratings in the league going up to that game. And then he started to roll out. I feel like Carson Wentz in the fourth quarter decided to call his own plays. I don't think Doug had anything to do with it. I think Carson basically said, fuck this. They're booing me. I'm going to play my game. And he started to roll out of the pocket and create plays. That's what I saw. Did you see anything differently from that?
Well, going back and having watched the game, he was bad in the first half. First 3 quarters, you're not going to get an argument from me. When he went to the hurry up and when he was basically dictating, he was reading the defense and calling the plays. He was basically, that's what changed in the play calling was the hurry up. And as soon as you see him start rolling out, making calls, the whole team changed. The other thing I got to say is I believe that these receivers like Ward, even J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Boston Scott, as a running back, they came up bigger than I've seen Alshon Jeffrey or Nelson Aguilar come up all year. They actually made catches,
Yeah. Boston Scott, I was really shocked by him. He was a guy that I wanted to implement into the offense earlier on in the season, but obviously Doug shied away from it. He doesn't like running the ball for whatever reason. So Boston Scott was a huge factor in that win on Monday Night Football. Now, going into the locker room 17-3, I'm going to talk about the fans a little bit because going into the locker room 17-3, I have not heard a louder collective boo than I heard at halftime that game because our season was over at that point. We looked dead. The New York Giants are the worst team in the league by far. It's not even close. And they were completely dominating the game. Slay had 150 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Eli Manning looked great. And the second half, we completely turned it on. I just don't know what happened. Maybe it's because the New York Giants defense is so piss poor that they just gave up and gassed out or something else. But I don't know. It just seemed like a complete team effort from the Philadelphia Eagles, something we haven't seen all year. And I feel like going into this Redskins game, which I will be at, I got last minute tickets. I'm actually going with someone that actually follows my YouTube, which is pretty cool. And I'm going with Trevor.
That's cool.
But I can't wait for this game. I know we're 4.5 point favorites, which seems to me a little bit low because the Redskins aren't that good of a team. But I feel like this game, if Carson Wentz continues to roll out, pick his spots, pick his targets, make time to create separation for the other wide receivers, I feel like we dominate this game. And I honestly don't think it'll be a close game at that point. But Carson Wentz needs to be consistent. He needs to roll out, and Doug needs to do a better job making play calls. So we'll see what happens. I'm a little bit nervous because that Dallas Cowboys game, I have them losing to the Rams, but you never know. You just never know.
It's interesting. I mean, if you go back to the halftime and to the booing, I was screaming on my live stream that they should be booing them as loud as possible. They deserve it. They deserved every minute of it. But something happened after that game. I'm hopeful because I thought that after that game, Carson Wentz looked like a weight was lifted off of him. He just. The way he was coming off was he needed that mentally. You know what I mean? That team needed it. And I think that for whatever reason, if you look at the first 15 scripted plays that they run every week, they're horrendous.
Yep.
Mike Groh is so bad. He is so bad. It's not even funny. And the other issue that I have is you talked about Boston Scott, right? You talked about Boston Scott. We all were talking about Boston Scott needs to play more. He was very good in preseason. Then you had Mark Michel, who was probably the best receiver in preseason. You had Deshaun Hall, who was leading the league in sacks in preseason. You have all these guys that are no-name guys that look like they're young, they were hungry, and they actually produced and played, yet we never give them a shot. Mm-hmm. And it took to week 14 to give multiple guys a shot, and they came up big. And I would suggest that for whatever reason, Doug has to get over this idea that, just because a guy's 30 years old and a veteran, that he has to be the guy out there. I have more faith in these younger guys than I do some of these old veterans.
Yeah. Well, at halftime, I was actually calling for Doug to be fired because my buddy takes videos for Twitter and he sends it to some guy in Miami, Florida who used to play football, and he puts it on Twitter. And I called for Doug to get fired because I had enough. I was calling out the plays in the first quarter. I said they're going to throw the ball on first down. They always do that. Second down, it's going to be some bullshit screen for 1 yard, and then they're going to run the ball on third down when it doesn't even matter.
Right.
It's so consistent bullshit with Doug
right.
that I just don't know how this coach won a Super Bowl. I really don't. And he looks like one of the worst head coaches in the league. He really does.
It just looks bad. I mean, there was a set of I think it was 2 3 and outs where I called every play. It was all right, here comes a quick half-yard screen to Ertz. He's going to run it outside. They're going to throw. Oh, they come back with a run. Oh, they're going to run. And every play. And if we know it, then the defensive coordinators know it. But once they went hurry up and Carson had control and he was calling out things and he was rolling out and he was calling plays that he was comfortable with, everything changed. That looked like the 2017 Eagles.
Yeah. And I see some people in the comment section say Groh's got to go and stuff like that. I've never liked Groh. But like I said, at halftime, I was ready for Doug Peterson to go. The head coach picks his guys. It's we all know Groh isn't the guy for this offense.
Right.
So why is he still on the team? It's your job as a head coach to find your guys, and these guys absolutely stink.
Yeah.
And the head coach is the one that makes the play calls. And I don't want to hear any scapegoats for Groh because when Doug Peterson's calling the play calls, he's the one that fucks everything up. Right. So it baffled me.
Here's my thought with Doug. I think Doug is a good he's a good players coach. He has some big balls. He'll take chances and those kind of things. But what he really needs is an X and O's kind of coordinator, a guy who knows how to break down what a defense is doing, know how to change things up, much like you see with Frank Reich. Yeah. He needs an X and O guy. When you don't have an X and O guy, you have a guy like Groh who stunk everywhere he went. Doug. It hurts Doug because Doug's not an X and O guy. Yeah. I mean, he's trying to run a RPO Nick Foles offense with Carson Wentz. It makes no sense to me at all. I
actually saw that in practice. I'm not against the RPO with Carson Wentz. Well, I wasn't against the RPO with Carson Wentz because he looked abysmal the whole year. And I feel like they were dumbing down the playbook like they did for Nick Foles because Doug was like, "What the hell is going on here? We're trying to turn this guy into a pocket passer to keep him away from injury." But the problem with turning him into a pocket passer is he's not a pocket passer. And he never will be one. If you see his QB rating in the pocket, it's 52.2. You see his QB rating when he escapes the pocket, it's 94.2. So he is the furthest thing from a pocket passer as it gets. And that's the problem I have with Doug, that he doesn't see this, and people like me, an average Joe, do. It's mind-boggling. I know you want to keep him away from injury, but it's you paid him a boatload of money. Let him play his game. If he gets injured, oh well, you paid him money, and that's that.
Yeah. At some point, you got to take the training wheels off the guy. You just have to.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem. I think Carson could be a decent pocket passer, but in spurts, you have to move him out. You have to mix it up, and you have to give him weapons because the guys that are on the field don't get open. He needs to roll up to buy enough time for these guys to get any sort of separation. So it's kind of hand in hand. And what I see Doug trying to put a square peg in a round hole all the time. And he has to change this whole offense around. And it has to start with firing Mike Groh.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But when you saw the receivers like Greg Ward Jr. out there, even Arcega-Whiteside, the catch Arcega-Whiteside made, In a million years, Nelson Aguilar will never, ever make that catch.
There's not many wide
Ever.
receivers that could make that catch.
He would never make that. He couldn't make it. He couldn't make it. And to me, I thought we had guys that were actually hungry, that actually wanted to play. And I think they provided a spark for this team. And I thought that they were able to feed off of it. The question is can this continue till next week? That we don't know.
Well, that catch gave me hope again. That catch gave me hope for Arcega-Whiteside. Like, it really did. You know, the guy made a spectacular catch. Once he caught it, I was like, there's no way he caught that. That definitely landed on the ground. And he brought it in. You know, so I was definitely impressed by that. But as for the other wide receivers, we have Greg Ward, Arcega-Whiteside. I don't know if they're going to implement Davis into the offense this week.
I'd put him in right away.
You think they're going to put him in?
I would put him in on first play. I'm going long to him. I'm going bomb. Because he's got 4.4 speed. Yeah. He's 6'3", 210 pounds, and the guy can run.
Why hasn't he been up then? Why hasn't he been up?
Well, this is a problem that I have with Doug is why are these guys that produce and seem to have talent and they're young not getting a chance? Where's Deshaun Hall all year? Yeah. I mean, where's he been? Why did it take so long for Boston Scott to get a chance to play when we all have been calling for it? I mean, how many other guys are we holding back and not letting play? That's what I want to know.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But the thing is like when you want to bring up someone from the practice squad, you have all this talent just sitting there. You have Aguilar, whatever. All right, you have Aguilar, Jeffrey, Ertz, and Deshaun Jackson going into the season. They're banking on these guys to come back.
Yeah.
So what happens if these guys end up balling out? Where are you going to put people like Deshaun Jackson? Where are you going to put Alshon Jeffrey? Now you can do whatever you want because these guys are hurt. But that's something going into the season. Everyone wanted to see these guys, but you can't because you have this other talent taking their spots for more money. So
I understand what you're saying. I don't mean to cut you off. It's just that I would have benched Aguilar back after the Detroit game. He'd have been gone.
Problem is when it comes down to X's and O's, you and I both know this, the dollars and cents wise, he's making $9 million and there's no way he's going to be off the field.
That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. There's no question about it. You know, I'm telling you, and I did a video yesterday about this. Like, I have more faith and hope that some of these young guys will come up and take advantage of the situation than I do with 50% Alshon Jeffrey, with the Nelson Aguilar who has a hurt knee, who may not want to even play anymore because he doesn't want to risk his free agency and his his new contract that he wants to get. So I actually have more faith in some of these young guys. I say give them a chance. I mean, at least they have speed. Greg Ward Jr. has speed. Robert Davis has speed. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, maybe he doesn't have speed, but at least he showed some hands. I'm willing to give those guys a shot. Why not?
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. Like, I mean, I just don't understand why, they haven't implemented it sooner, but at the same time, it's all about contracts.
I mean, maybe Robert Davis will get up there and he'll stink. Who the hell knows? You know
I don't
what I mean?
think he could do much worse than what we've had this year.
No, I don't either. At least he can run. At least he's got the speed to run downfield. I say take a chance, man. Redskins know him. For those that don't know him, he was with the Redskins up until October. He was cut. He's the guy that caught Haskins' first 55-yard touchdown pass in preseason, if you want to see what he looks like. But he's got some talent. So I say let him play.
And that's another thing I'm going to talk about real quick, talking about the preseason, because a lot of people ripped me going into the season for me asking the Philadelphia Eagles coach and players to play in the preseason. Everyone's like, oh, it's preseason. It doesn't matter. Well, you're looking at a team that looks like a preseason team right now because maybe going into the season, they just weren't ready to play. Who knows? Preseason means more than you think. I understand that players want to stay healthy and players just want to get up to their abilities without the preseason. But at the same time, Week 2, Deshaun Jackson out. The preseason didn't even matter, So you got to play these players. You got to get them ready for the regular season. You got to get them stretched out. You got to have them get into rhythm. And this is something I stretched going into the season, and people didn't want to hear it. They were like, let's get healthy. They didn't want to give an excuse to Carson Wentz if he got hurt in the preseason. He hasn't gotten hurt all year, and that's actually a shocker to me. But he hasn't gotten hurt all year, and that's out the door. There's no longer conversations about the guy getting hurt. Now the conversation is this the guy? That's the conversation now. And I think after Monday night, it was a really bad team we played. But after Monday night, Carson Wentz showed me something that I haven't seen since 2017. So I'm hoping it stays consistent. I'm hoping that he consistently stays with the game that he played on Monday night, and we'll go from there.
Well, the question is will they let them? Will they come out with their stupid 15 scripted plays?
Fuck the coaches,
and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the question I have. I always believe Carson had it in him. It was nice to see. And look, yeah, it's the Giants, and they stink. There's no question about it. But they're still our biggest rival, and we hate that team. And we saw in 2017, they stunk then, and we struggled with them, and we kicked a 61-yard field goal, and that set us on a course right up there. I mean, maybe this will be mentally a huge victory for the Eagles, and they'll ride on it. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, it also comes down to if the Dallas Cowboys end up winning that game against the Rams, because I think we play at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. All right, it could be a 4:25 game, but I think it's a 1:00 game. I mean, I'll have to look that up right now.
I don't remember.
I have my phone right next to me, so I'll look it up right now. But that'll be huge, because if we can get this game and they end up, it's a 4:25 game. So you know what? If we win this game, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be playing like it's their last game. So they get the advantage, obviously, because if we lose that game, if we lose against the Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys win, they're going to play hard regardless. So if they win that game going into the Dallas game, it won't even matter anymore, because Dallas isn't going to lose to the Redskins if they beat the Rams. So
it's all about Week 16. I mean, you got to take care of business.
No,
but that Week 16 game is it, man.
No, I actually disagree. I think this game right here is it, because if the Eagles lose this game and Dallas beats the Rams, that's it. Because Dallas is not going to lose to the Washington Redskins. They're not. They're just not.
Wait, hold on. If the Eagles, all the Eagles have to do is win out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
But if the Eagles lose to Washington, they would be screwed, because Dallas would then have a better division record than them. The Eagles can't lose to Washington. I agree with them. Yeah,
they can't. So they have to come out guns blazing. They have to play perfectly in this game. They got to go in for the kill. They can't play to just win by a little. They got to go play as if it's their Super Bowl. They have to. The Washington Redskins, they might not be a good team, but they beat Carolina on the road. They competed with Green Bay last week, and they're playing for pride. That is the worst type of team you want to run into at the worst time.
Right. They're playing spoilers. Now, they're going to be without Darius Geis. I think we got a pretty good record against rookie quarterbacks under Schwartz, so that's good. I don't think Washington's going to be able to score a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to go deep, they're going to try to take advantage of that secondary. What I want to know, and what I wonder is, what is Doug and Groh going to do? Are they going to take the second half of that Giants game and implement more things like that, or are they going to go right back to the crappy 15 scripted plays? And if they do that, we're going to struggle early on. We'll struggle again. It'll be a tight game.
Yeah.
And I think this is really on the coaches, this game.
Yeah, I honestly think I was talking to my friend Zomp, who I do shows with on Saturday. Shout out to him. We both think that they're going to go back to the style that they were in through the whole season. We don't think they're going to stick to what they did in the Giants game, because the Redskins on a level term aren't on their level, which I honestly think the Redskins are a better team right now. They gotta change it up. They've got to play like they did against the Giants, or else they're going to lose this game. It's a -4.5 for a reason. That's low. -4.5 on the road against a lowly Redskins with check down Deshaun Haskins, who can't throw. He can't throw. He's a check down quarterback, and we're 4.5-point favorites. That's low, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very low, because I can see this game. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I'm probably going to take the Eagles in 4.5, because even if they struggle, I still see them winning by 7.
So
at the worst.
You're giving the 4.5?
Yeah, I'll give it. All
right. Yeah, we got to stop AP and Scary Terry, running back wise. So, AP and then McLaurin, we got to stop.
McLaurin is what scares me. It's not the running game. We've done pretty good against running backs all year. It's those deep passes, those vertical passing games that kill us. I mean, if you look at like the Miami game, it's like 2-3 plays. If you take away, we win that game. And it's always these deep, big plays where it's like 4th and 4, and they score a 50-yard touchdown. things like that. We just can't allow, and we always do.
Yeah, but you know what? People like to talk about the Miami Dolphins game. I go back to this. Ryan Fitzpatrick, career-wise, always kills us, always owns us.
Always.
Doesn't matter the situation. I take that game with that game with a grain of salt. I'm sorry. Like
even if you look at the Giants game, right? You have the third down pass. Ronald Darby misses a tackle, touchdown. Then Darius Slayton, whatever, he catches another touchdown, big deep right before half. We allow these big plays that teams score, and we can't allow it.
Yeah, and it's funny because Eli Manning missed a big play to Golden Tate, which would have been a touchdown. This was in the first half, so if that would have happened, we would have been fucked even worse. But hey, we were down 17-3. We turned it on. We tied the game, went to overtime, and took it right down the field, which was very impressive. So
yeah. The question is like, how did the Eagles build off of what happened? I mean, really, it's one of those things where if you do it right, if you play it right, this could change all the momentum for you this whole season. Could flip everything upside down. It was that kind of win, even though it was against the stinky Giants. Still a division rivalry with your season on the line. If you go right back to the same, I'm very afraid that's what's going to happen. It's going to be back to normal.
Yeah, so right off the bat, like I said, I'm going to this game. Right off the bat, there's going to be a ton of Eagle fans there. They're going to take over the stadium. The Redskins hate their owner. Like, literally hate their owner. The fans do not like Dan Schneider whatsoever.
No.
The stadium's a dump. It's a toilet bowl. It's tough to get out of that stadium and get into that stadium because of parking. All right?
Parking's a bitch.
So going into the first play, these fans are going to be nuts. Because they're going to give out all their frustrations to the players on the field, and it's going to be loud. The same exact atmosphere as it was down in Miami, and that could piss the Washington Redskins off. So this is kind of like one of those win-lose situations that we're dealing with. But my friend was like, why do you want to go to the Redskins game in FedEx? I was like, listen, I'm going to every single game from here on out until they get eliminated. That means if they get to the wild card game, I will be there. No matter how much it costs, I will be there. I wish you went to a game, to be honest.
I would love to. There's nothing more than I would like to do than to come to the game.
Yeah.
Kids and far away travel, it makes it harder. But one of these days.
Maybe they'll go out to LA one time. I think they go out to your favorite place, Vegas. Yeah, we lost 500 for a second. But I think he'll can you hear me?
I just lost you.
Oh, you just lost me?
I'm going to come back. I'm going to go out and come back in.
That's fine. But, yeah, like I was saying, the 500, if they go out to Las Vegas, which is one of his favorite places to go, when he goes out there, I'll go out there and I'll meet up with him, and that'll be a great collab right there. It's Philly.500 is a good guy. He really is. And I just want to win this game against the Washington Redskins because, let's face it, we're not that good of a team. All of our players are hurt. We're dealing with players from the practice squad, and, it is what it is. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yeah, I just went out for a second.
No, I was basically talking about like when they go to Vegas, like we should meet up, collab, and stuff like that. Vegas is like what, 2 years from now?
Yeah, 2 years from now, the draft's going to be in Vegas. I think
next year.
I really want to go to.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I want to try to go to that draft. I think that would be so cool.
It's funny, for that weekend, I actually have a comped room to stay in because I'm going to be in a poker tournament at Harrah's. And then I feel like they're having the draft at the T-Mobile Arena. So that should be really interesting. I can't wait for that. It's going to be hot as hell out there, and there's going to be so many drunk people. It's going to be nuts.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah.
They'll probably have blackjack tables inside the T-Mobile Arena.
I'm sure they have casinos there, slots and everything. Vegas is going to be one of the best places to go for road games. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking the Raiders out of Oakland, but I think it's for good reason.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Raiders are going to flourish in Vegas. It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be huge.
Hardcore fan base is going to love it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be cool. I mean, I like it because I can go to games, when the Eagles go there. I got family there, so it's very easy for me to go.
Yeah, you go a lot. You go like, what, 4 or 5 times a year?
A couple times a year. Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun out there.
Yeah, I love it.
It's not like the dump AC that I have to go to.
No, it's a lot different than AC.
Yeah.
I mean, I like AC because it has the ocean, but man, they dropped the ball on some things, man. They need to copy Vegas. I think sports betting helps though to finally get that in Atlantic City.
It brings a lot of money back too.
Yeah. So if they can clean up Atlantic City, it could be pretty sweet.
100%. But yeah, getting back to this Eagles game, what are your predictions on this game? What is the final score, and who are the players of the game?
I'm gonna say the Eagles are going to feed off of what happened in the Giants game. I think they're going to come out early. They're going to go up 17-0. I think the Redskins will never have firepower to really get back in. I'm gonna say the Eagles win. I'm gonna say the Eagles win 27-10. I'm gonna say that 27-10, and I'm gonna say Carson Wentz, and we'll say Miles Sanders.
All right. Well, my prediction last week was Carson Wentz having 495 yards and 4 touchdown passes. He had 325 and 2 touchdown passes. So you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it with a grain of salt, and I'll move on to this week. I think Carson Wentz has another career day this week. I think he goes for 425 and 3 touchdowns. I'll say 1 pick. I think he has a pick this week because he doesn't turn the ball over much, and he's due for a pick.
Yeah.
So those are my stats for that game. Score-wise, I'm going to say the Eagles win 27-23. I feel like the Redskins cover the point spread.
Okay. It could be. Yeah, I'll take the win, though, and that sets up a monster game
against Dallas
versus Dallas, who we cannot beat, who we've not beaten in years. So
I'll be there.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game. Yeah, that's going to be a crazy game. Yeah. But I like it.
We gotta do too. Isaac Martin in the comment section is asking, "Is Howard gonna play this week?" I don't think so.
He was limited. He's been limited at practice until he gets cleared. Which I got to tell you, you got to wonder with his stinger. Like, it's a stinger. You go into the bye week. He hasn't played since. At what point is it not a stinger anymore? It's something else going on, and you got to worry about this medical staff that they're calling the wrong diagnosis again. I mean, wasn't Deshaun Jackson supposed to be out 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I think the Sixers medical staff and the Eagles medical staff switched places. That's what I think.
You're right. I think you're right. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. We need Jordan Howard back. I would love to see a 3-headed monster with Howard, Sanders, and Boston Scott.
We're just lucky that our division sucks so much. Like, I mean, the fact that we're still in this after being 6-7 is awesome, and people are having like an outcry right now. They're like, you should fix the seed and you should let other teams in. It's simple. Win your division. There's always going to be that one sucky division every single year. You know, everyone has to do it.
I don't want to get rid of division winners. I think you gotta be treated with the home playoff game if you win your division. Yeah, sometimes your division is going to suck. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the Eagles could very well get in the playoffs, get a home playoff game, and win that home playoff game and get to the second round with a 9-7, maybe 8-8 record. Who the hell knows?
Yeah,
it's possible.
Well, right now they would be on target to face the Seattle Seahawks, who beat us at Lincoln Financial Field 17-10? I think it was.
Yeah, and the Eagles blew a lot of opportunity to win that game. I still think the Eagles could beat them in a rematch in Philly.
Yeah, and that's the QB I compare to Carson Wentz is Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson, terrible pocket passer. He makes all of his plays on his feet. He rolls out of the pocket well. He thrives on breakdown plays. And that is the same exact QB that Carson Wentz is. But the thing is, Carson Wentz doesn't have his targets right now. Russell Wilson does. And I feel like if we can get to that Seattle Seahawks game and Carson Wentz has all the confidence in the world, I think we can win that game.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, maybe we get a little lucky and these young receivers, they come up and they play better and they're actually better and we find a gem. I mean, maybe we can get lucky with something like that. That would be humongous for us right now. And then you get to the playoffs, so you get Deshaun Jackson back, and it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different ballgame.
Well, that's the recipe for success right there, because we built the offense around Deshaun Jackson. So if Deshaun Jackson comes back, that'll take so much pressure off Carson Wentz. You know, because he's going downfield. They're going to be putting double coverage on him all day. Then you have Zach Ertz wide open. You have Aguilar probably wide open. You have all these other targets wide open, and then you're back to your successful ways again. So Deshaun Jackson has to come back. Now, I don't know the rules for that. Is he eligible to come back for the wild card round or the divisional round?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a divisional round or wild card. I know that after the season, you can take people off the IR. I don't know how many people, but you can take somebody off the IR. So, I think it may be the first playoff game, but who knows? Either way, if you get Deshaun Jackson back, I think everything changes. They could become dangerous.
And he'd be fresh.
Be fresh if he can run and he can play. I mean, the things that Deshaun Jackson does isn't things that he's got to work on. Maybe their timing will be off a little bit here and there, but he's going to have plenty of shots downfield, and like you said, he'll open up everything for everybody else.
Yep.
And that would be I think big time. And there's no real tape of the Eagles with Deshaun Jackson except for that one half.
Yeah.
So it could be an advantage.
Exactly. And there's not that one team in the playoff race right now that actually scares me. We'd play the Seattle Seahawks, but what team scares you? The Saints? I mean, that's
only the. I actually like the idea of going to San Francisco and playing the 49ers.
Yeah.
In their first playoff game. Because if they get a bye week, let's say they're number one seed, the teams like that often get there and their first time they play tight, they make mistakes, they're just happy to be there in a lot of ways. And you can upset a team in that situation. New Orleans scares me. Going to New Orleans scares me because I think we just have a hard time there.
Burger Gang Sports in the comments section said it would be the divisional round. It comes back.
Okay, so we have to win one playoff game, and then we get it back.
Yeah. And fortunately for us, it'll be a home playoff game.
Yeah, it would have to be a home playoff game because you have to win your division. And if we can get by Seattle, if it's Seattle, then yeah, I mean it's gonna be Seattle or Minnesota.
Yeah,
one of those two teams. So
Minnesota, I would love to send them home with no weapons again.
It would be great if Chicago snuck in. It would be really great.
Chicago, so they could have revenge against us.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't sweat them at all.
I just want some playoff football to come back to Philly, like for the third year. That's all I want.
Well, I'm telling you, we take care of business this Sunday. That Dallas game, that is a playoff game, dude. That is as big as it gets. You want to talk about Carson Wentz's biggest game of his career? It don't get bigger than that for him.
I saw tickets on StubHub going for like $200 for the cheapest.
Wow,
Dallas Cowboys game.
It's gonna be, and that's a couple days before Christmas. I do not want to be upset during Christmas with that game. They got to win that game.
Yeah, if they win that game, my Christmas is ruined.
Ruined.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, they took a beating so bad versus Dallas the first time. I don't think it's going to happen again.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll happen again.
Well, I'm going to talk about that game for a little bit because I was there. The reason why we lost that game the way we did is because the momentum right off the bat swept under our feet. Right off the bat, we fumbled the ball twice in the first 3 minutes. It was over. We didn't have time to compose ourselves. And on top of that, we still scored one touchdown when Wentz threw it to Goddard in the end zone. So, that game is a small sample size. Games like that happen every single year. Like, look back at 2008. We lost to the Baltimore Ravens, got the shit kicked out of us. Donovan McNabb was benched for Kevin Cobb. He comes back on Thanksgiving, lights up the Arizona Cardinals, and we go on a playoff run and lose to the Cardinals in the NFC Championship game, which sucked. But, I mean, you get my point. You get those bad games every single year. And our bad game this year was the Dallas game.
Yeah, it was a horrible – that was a horrendous game. And I think that, having it been that they swept us last year and they beat us so bad this year, I think this team will be ready to play them. I really do. And I think Dallas is a bit in free fall. Like, I wonder if they haven't just plain old quit on Garrett. I think this week is going to tell us a lot.
They quit on Garrett, in my opinion, but when they face Philly, they'll get a jump start. They'll want to beat us no matter what.
Do you rather them lose to the Rams or beat the Rams and then lose to the Eagles? Like, do you think that losing to the Rams is going to make them come into Philly more hungry?
Keep losing.
Yeah,
because if you beat the Rams, it gives them that thing in their mind, their message in their mind that says, "Hey, we're still good," because the Rams just kicked the shit out of the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I got a feeling the Rams are going to win that game. By the way.
Yeah, well, it's a pick 'em right now, and the whole world is on the Rams, so it kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it should. But at least the Rams can score, and their defense, I think their secondary has been pretty decent of late. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting. It's an interesting game.
It'll definitely be interested. All right, well, it's my poker time. I got to get out of here. Is there anything else you would like to say, Philly.500?
No, everybody have a great day. See you later. I'll be back probably tomorrow. I don't think I'm doing a video today unless something insane happens. But
Right.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you, Philly500, for tuning in. If you like the stream, smash that thumbs up button. Go subscribe to Philly500. Get him to 20,000 subscribers. We're gonna get him to 100,000 subscribers by the end of next year. Best Eagle content maker on YouTube. Joins me every single week, usually with Darius. Darius hasn't been on the last 2 weeks, I believe, due to work, but we'll all be back as a big family next week. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. With that being said, I'm out of here. Philly500.
Peace.
All right. Peace, guys. Go Birds. Big game. We need you guys this Sunday.